Hello everyone, this is Nikita and today I have come up with a video on data types in PEGA. So data types are very important part of PEGA and you should know what they are when you start your PEGA application, creation of your PEGA application and understanding different rules. So that's what the topic is. Let's go into what are the different things we will discuss in this video. So coming to what are data types, why to create data types and the rules created when we are creating a new data type. So these are basic points we would discuss in our today's video. So let's get started and coming to what is a data type. Data type is nothing but it is a table. It is a data table where we store our data. So it can have a number of columns, whatever columns we want we can have, and we can add the data, we can add the rows, and that is very intuitive to add. So where you will see that in a while. So that is why we use data type, and this is configurable. And the most important part is data type is also delegatable, so the business users can also change it on fly. Okay, so there are some use cases where the business users want to specifically modify some of the columns or the rows, some of the values in production. Okay, so in that scenario you will have to delegate this table and then they would be able to change it. So basically some rules, some business rules which are ever changeable, people want it to be able to customized in production. So for that reason also data type is very useful. Another thing is basically data type is basically a class which is mapped to a table, and the rows and columns you can see it in data type. So this is basically the data type, nothing much fancy about it. The other thing is when you create a data type, some data pages gets created, so it is easy for you to access the data. Okay, so that is how it is. So that is what is data type and why to create a data type. Basically I told you the reasons. Basically you have it is mapped to a table, and if you want to add some rows in it you can do that. Okay, you don't have to go to the actual DB, you can do that directly from the data type. Okay, so it's easy. And then for delegation you will need to have a data type. Okay, so these are the things. Now we will create a new data type and see what are the rules getting created. So let's get started. First of all, we will go to the left menu. You can see a data type here. Okay, so you go here and then you would be able to see the data types which are there in your application. Okay, you can search them also. And if you want to create a new data type, you have this arrow. Go here, and in the second option you can see add data type. Okay, let me go to add data type, and here you have two options. Either you can take some existing data type from your application or from your parent application and use it in your current application, or you can create a new data type. Okay, basically when you do existing data type you can select any of the already existing data types. Okay, so you can see many are there, right? So when you see XYZ Bank, which is my parent application, I have a data type for that also, which I can use it in my application when I submit. Now I want to create a new data type and see its content. Okay, so let me create maybe policy. Okay, so this is policy type with duration. This is what is you're describing your data type. Now advanced, this is important, where this is the parent class, basically your organization, application, and then data. Okay, this is your parent class, and your data type name, which is policy, would be appended to the end. So your identifier becomes your parent class and then your data type name. So this is what your identifier is. Coming to your branch, or you want to save it in your branch or in your rule set. Okay, so let me save it in my rule set now. So when you select no branch, you will have an option to select which app layer you want to save. So XYZ Bank is my built-on application. I can save it there also. Okay, and then you have the app layer, claims application. You can select which rule set you want to save. I will save it in my claims rule set. Now clicking on submit. As I click on submit, I can see some rules getting created. I have a data type which got created. Along with that, my class got created. So let me go and open my class record. Okay, so this is your class. Okay, it basically tells you what is the class type. Is it a concrete or an abstract class? In my previous video, I have explained about it. Basically, data classes, we keep it as concrete because we have to save it in some table. Okay, and this would obviously be belong to a does not belong to a class group because data types, right? You do not need to have the class group relationship here. You just want to have a simple table. So does not belong to a class group. It does not belong to any class group. Now you can give any keys if you want. When you do automatically generate a unique key, PYGUID, which is a global unique ID, the table, it will be unique by this particular key. Okay. So find by name first or pattern, the class inheritance basically. So my parent class, I want to keep it as this, and pattern also. Pattern would be what is pattern basically. You remove your policy and then the rest are your pattern inheritance and then so on and so forth. But directed inheritance also I'll keep it as same. I do not want to have any specific class for directed inheritance now. I can save it. Okay. And you can see a red mark here. It's showing some warning. It's always a good practice to look at the warning at the very starting when it is coming, rather than waiting for the longer time and delaying it. So it is saying that your instance is saved to the PR other table, which has few properties exposed as column. Consider mapping this class to a different table. Okay. So now I don't have it, but let me show you how can I get the table. So coming to the class, coming to the data type. Okay, go to the records. Okay, and here you can configure your source. So basically you can see your ID. Okay, and then whatever you want to have the new fields, you can create it here. Okay, so let me create some name, policy name, duration. Duration in days basically, so that's okay. I can keep it as integer. Okay, so now you see there are some data pages. So these data pages would be created when you do a submit. Okay, my database, I want to keep it as PEGA data. Now submit. Okay, so when you submit it, you see you use as key and all the predefined system properties and then your own property. Let me check on view detail what got created. So now you see that your database table got created. Your database table mapping rule, I'll tell you in a while what it is. Then your report definition, then your data pages, different data pages, list data page and savable. Okay. Now this database table mapping rule is basically a database table instance. Let me click on it. Okay, so this is database table instance. I have a video on this. Please go and look into this where I have explained how the class is mapped to a database table. So here you can see that there is a table name which is pre-populated. Basically it got created when you configured the source for this. Okay, so it got created, and when you do the test connectivity, you can see that this is mapped to this table. Okay, so well and good, you have this already mapped, so no problem. So I got all my rules which got created. So to reiterate, what are the rules which got created? Okay, first is the data type. Okay, and then you have the class got created, then a database table instance got created. Okay, I think you understood what it is. Let me again show you what got created. So this is the database table instance, this got created. Okay, so your class, your database table instance, and then this is a table in your database which got created. Okay, and let me go to the class in App Explorer. Okay, now I can show you what other thing. Yeah, so data model, when you go to data model, you see property. I created two properties. I added two properties in data type, right, when configuring the source. So these got created. Then there is data pages. Okay, then there is a report. This is data table editor report. Basically this is used to show the, the content in the data type. What I mean is, when you see this data type, when you click on this record, right, this record icon, database icon, and you click on it, so you would see that, this is currently empty. But what happens is, at the runtime, when you add record to this, then this report definition, where is my report? This report definition is getting called at the backend to fetch me the value in my data type here. Okay, and now I can add records in this. Let me add some, maybe policy. So okay, insurance duration, let me give it as 60 for now. Okay, so this can be different policies. I've just given some example, so this can be different. Home loan, okay, can be 80. So I'm just showing you this as an example. How do you fetch the data? So now you see that your data type is populated. Okay, you have two records in here. What are the other things you can do is, you can export and import. Basically, when you export, all the contents of your this particular table will be exported as a CSV. So when I do an export, you see a CSV is getting downloaded. So basically this is what happens. So you can open and see that, this is my content. So this is the content. And when you importing is basically this data. You might have a CSV where you have the name and duration, and you can import it in here. Okay, so if you want to see, I can show you, maybe. Okay, so suppose I want to, I have to remove my GUID because I want PEGA to create the GUID for me. Okay. Okay, so don't have currently the Excel, so that's okay. So basically this is what happens when you can also import the records in here. Okay, now coming to how do I fetch data, okay, from data pages. So when you have this data type, you can go to the expand icon and you will see some data pages here, right? So let me go to list policy, so D policy list, and now I want to fetch my data. I can just go here, I can run, basically just run. Okay, let me flush and then run it. I want to see what do I get it as a result. So this is the content. Okay, when you go to PX result, you will be able to see your data, PX results. So these are two records. Okay, so name, home loan, which I just given. Okay, name and what else, duration 80, here duration 60. Okay, so basically it's easy for you to fetch the value and you can use it in your application directly. Okay, this either list or policy according to your requirement, you can add in your parameters to this data page. Okay, you can have your different parameters and accordingly you can fetch your data. So this was all about data type. Okay, so you can have some other field also, you can add some more field. For that you have to go to data model, add field, and you can add your custom field in it. Suppose I want to add something else. Okay, maybe type. It will create this basically. When I submit, okay, okay, now you can see my data type got added here. Okay, so this is, you can do usages, data sources. Okay, so I think that's it for this particular video. I will go in detail in my coming videos where I will explain data type with a point of view of some, application using this data type, and maybe you will get a more clearer idea there. So thanks all for watching this video. I hope to see you again in my next video. Till then, stay safe, take care, bye bye.